So I'm going to do something unorthodox and go right into the flame on Godzilla here. I'm going to go ahead and let the markers kind of blend how they want, because that'll add some levels and variation to the fire. Try to leave a little bit of a shape on the inside. And I'm going to give it just a touch of red for fun. Actually, I'm going to give it a little more at the bottom. It would look a little cooler, a little bottom heavy with the red. Alright. I'm going to go right into some coloring. I'll try to do this pretty fast. Now, he's going to get a lot of the solid green. I'm going to try to do a mix of flats, flat areas, and a little bit of actual drawing with this green marker at the same time. It's going to make them pretty dark, kind of graphic. So I want to try to have a couple areas show through, and I kind of want to show why I inked it the way that I did with just lighter blocked areas. I mentioned before, when you're the inker and the colorist and the penciler, you can kind of pick and choose where you take some shortcuts. So that's what I was doing as my own inker. I kind of knew what I had in mind. As I'm coloring some of these areas, and I'm laying in some of these spots, I'm going to try to have the lighter areas offset from some of the other darker areas. And it's okay if I let them touch, but where I can, like I said, I want them to offset, because it'll tighten up the pattern. I'm going to try to leave some more open colors, or lighter pencil area on the outside. I'm actually doing a sort of another pattern for the scales, and it's actually just letting the nib of the marker do the work. It kind of gives me the rough scales that we were talking about trying to achieve here. It's just another method. There's going to be a lot of patterns that I'm going to be putting into this. There's going to be some spots where I'm actually going to be inking in color, more or less. So I'm going to be doing a lot of the ink work that I didn't do in the previous stage is going to happen now. I talked about this belly area is going to be a little bit lighter. So I've got to make sure that I keep up with that when I add in these scales out here. Try and make them a little thicker as I get closer to this belly area. Alright, so we're about halfway there. Or halfway where I think we're going. I'm going to try to have a bit more shadow underneath here. Because it's closer to his body. Now, there's some other choices that we could have made on Godzilla overall. Like, I could just be filling him in with green. But I really want to try to do some of these patterns here. Try to give it a little bit of volume. I'm going to try to pick a couple areas on his hands to make a little more solid. Just going to give it some more weight by being so dark. Outline his tail just a little bit here to help give me something to start on the bottom with. So I want the bottom to be a little bit darker. Just follow those lines up. I'm going to kind of do the same here, but I'm going to try to keep on the inside of those ink lines that I made. I'm going to come back across those. And I'm going to go one more time up there. And then I'm going to fill in just a little bit to try to make it a little darker there. And I'm going to pick a side on these spines, make it a little bit darker. And I'll give it a little bit of volume. fill these in just a little bit more. Just add a little bit of cross hatching here. I'm going to do a couple lines on the outsides of his teeth. And that'll help give it a little bit of turn. A little bit extra shadow there. Around his eyes. Give him a couple sort of scaly pieces right there. Then we'll bring a couple down across the top. Gives him a nice lumpy head. For fun, because we've got breathing fire, I'm just going to go with a nice red on the inside here, but that'll also show that his mouth is open in a nice kind of graphic way. Enhance those lines just a little bit. Because like I said, I want him to feel bottom heavy. So a lot of this stuff on the bottom, we want to thicken it up. And give a little bit darker scales and things down here. Again, it's a little bit more graphic feel as we do that. But I want it to be kind of pudgy and lower set, so I think this is doing the job. And again, I'm just kind of making my own pattern here. But it still follows some of the rules to the more tight patterns that I did up here. There we go. Squishy Godzilla.